Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everyone. All right, surprise. Um, Unexpected channeling moment. Veronica didn't want to wait until Sunday to hear more from Mags. There's a lot going on energetically for her, and she feels like having Mags' support with that is important, and we agree, and there's no reason not to, so here we are. It's quite a lot for Veronica to hold right now, so you'll see her shaking and things like that. You're used to that, so you don't have to worry about that. See? Um, we're going to do eyes closed for just a moment because that seems like an easier thing to do. So, yes, Mary Magdalene, aka Mags, came into the council during the last session, and that marks a huge delineation in the direction of the teachings that we are going to be offering you. There is going to be, we should say it this way, it's going to be the way it's always been. But it's also going to be very different than how it's always been, in the sense that she brings a powerful feminine presence, one. She brings the opportunity to rebalance the inequities between the genders. What? Yes. 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 Remember months ago we told you that there was the way of interacting with large global issues, right? We talked about the plastics in the oceans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Large global issues. What's the large global issue that faces every single human being on this planet? The imbalance between the genders. Historical and current. And so that's where we're going. We're going into correcting the energetic imbalance that was inherent in your system due to the way it was set up. And it no longer needs to be that way. That's the task we are attending to. And so that looks a lot like Veronica balancing that within herself. She's always used a ton of masculine energy. And now, no. And that has been a ride. Now, the way of interacting with the big B body, the body outside of the gingerbread shape, the body other than your physical form, right? That's what we call the big B body. The interaction with the big B body. We have been telling you for months, probably years, that that is going to evolve. The change is going to happen. You're going to start having a new relationship to it. There was a lot of ways we predicted that might show up. Some of those ways have already happened. Some of them haven't. And here we are right now offering you a huge way to transform the interaction with the big B body. Because you have come at it with your own personal imbalance between masculine and feminine energy into a society that is imbalanced between masculine and feminine energy, and into a world that requires you to use masculine energy to move ahead, get anything done, accomplish any tasks. The moving forward, the doing, the do to get, right? Everyone has been doing to get. I worked so I get money so I can eat. You've been doing to get. It doesn't matter if you feel like you've been very feminine or very masculine. The bottom line is you've been doing to get. Inescapably doing to get. Okay? So as we correct that imbalance within our community, supporting you correcting that imbalance within yourselves, and offering that corrected imbalance to your society and your species, this is the big project. Now, that doesn't take away from you doing the other big projects or working on whatever you're working on. We're telling you, inherently. So meetings going forward that have always been Elohim only won't be Elohim only anymore, because that's not balanced. You see? Mags has a gift to give. She needs time and space to give it. You need time and space to receive it. Timing needs to unfold. There needs to be surface area for this transformation. Okay? So that's what we're doing. And so today, Veronica was like, I can't wait until Sunday. I need time with Mags. I need reinforcement of what I'm undergoing, what's happening inside my body, the things that are going on inside of me. I need support. And so we're sharing that support with you as well. It's a big deal. It's enormous. It's enormous. So we're going to get her. And she wants to see if she can do eyes open because she doesn't like the idea of not being able to connect as fully as possible. So that's going to be weird for Veronica. So give us some patience and some support around how that plays out, please. Okay, here we go. We'll probably come back at the end. So let's just see what happens, shall we? Okay, everything's working. Okay, just a moment. Let's begin with a invocation. Invocation. We offer to you the transparent gift of the movement into balance and the ease into the truth, which has always been present, that you are all things, rounded and loved. The distortion you have abided in is no longer required, and you have a gift to bestow as you step into the bestowal of balance that is being offered you. Step into it not with your mind, not with your questions, not with your demands. Instead, drop into the offered truth. Abide in the presence. Revel in the unfolding. It occurs in the deep quiet of your inner self, past the noisiness, past the fear. Drop deep into that spot, that place, and live from there. Blessed be. We are grateful for the invitation to share more with you. We will do our best to translate what we have come to be into language and energy that you can hold. It is not a familiar process to us. However, we are committed to offering this support to you and working with you to facilitate the rebalancing that is ripe. Ripe is the good word. The rebalancing that is ripe to be distributed. These words are difficult for us. Please understand, we're asking for help from Elohim. They say distributed works. Okay. We want to try to do this with Veronica's eyes open. We know this is making quite a request of her, and we honor her willingness to at least try. It is an unusual position for her to be in that her own individual evolution is accelerated, which, of course, Elohim says it's disorienting uncertainty. Taking on something new and extra while in the midst of personal disorienting uncertainty is a big request. However, we feel it will be undeniably supportive if we can manage it. So Veronica has been acquiesced her willingness to the idea. So we are just going to open eyes without speaking to see how that is, and then we will carry on. Ooh, that is difficult. Just a moment. We'll maybe just do slightly open. That feels good, and we're not looking up because there's things on the screen that feels too much. We're just looking slightly open eyes down at the desk. This is our intermediate step. When you agreed to become part of this earth journey, when you agreed to amnesia, when you agreed to interdensity and duality with amnesia to your eternal state and with a cutting off, maybe is the right word, of the wisdom that you have attained as a soul, you agreed to be thrown into an environment that was dominated by fear and the survival instinct, that was predominantly confusing, and that was constantly uncertain. Constantly uncertain. Sounds a little kooky to do that, and yet it is still extremely valuable that you have done it. Why? You offer an evolutionary template to all that is. An evolutionary template. So, what is meant by that is that you invited in adversity. You invited in adversity the same way the marble block invites in the chisel, so that you could become something else and discover something new. Discover something possible that did not exist until you all, collectively as humanity, decided to birth into all that is something that did not exist before. And that something that did not exist before is unnamed at this time. And we are not going to be the ones that name it. We can describe it to you, though. It is the moment where conception invites growth, and growth invites evolution, and evolution invites breakthrough. The idea that humanoids can be born and live and die and born and live and die and born and live and die isn't all that interesting. But the reality that humanoids can be born and grow and evolve and break through, break out of the limitation that the structure they were born into presents. And we're not referring to like breaking out of your income tax bracket or going from being a peasant to being a king. Those are all within the same structure that humanity has always operated in. This is breaking out of the idea of those structures. Now, Elohim and the rest have taught you very diligently that what all that actually can be summarized down to is discontinuing living from the perspective of personality and embracing the reality of living, abiding in awareness, which is insufficient words, but at least it puts it in a category that you have been studying. Because the truth of the matter is that you have yet to even take a taste of the difference between those two states. Part of the reason our energy was called forth is because we have had to exist in a knowingness, in a beingness that began deeply in personality, witnessed the evolution out of it in Christ, and then was thrown deeply back into it after the crucifixion and had to climb out of it again without the emanational impact of Christ being present. And then held that space energetically for humanity for 2,000 years. This is the time frame we've just agreed to use as a summary time frame rather than try to do the math. So we held the evolutionary template that we experienced in one lifetime over generations of lifetime until your society ripened, until individuals ripened sufficiently to begin the rebalancing. And when the rebalancing occurs, of course our energy needs to come in. Of course we need to support that. We've been holding space for it for generations. And as we approach the reality of interacting with you as you rebalance within yourself, it is a joyful moment. Holding space and interacting with you and supporting you as you need to do that within yourself. For you to do what we did 2,000 years ago. But of course, you have the potential to take it even further than we did. We held space within our own body, within our own life, within our own mind, within our own heart. We clung to it like you might cling to a preserver as you are cast about in the ocean waves. You might use the word fixated. You do something for 2,000 years, you're probably fixated. That's a reasonable word to use. You could even say obsessed. It wouldn't be wrong. We dedicated our earth incarnational experience not to inhabiting a series of bodies, rather holding on to one thing without wavering. It's like singing one note for 2,000 years. And that note is the reality that you are not destined to live unbalanced. Your destiny is to heal the unbalance that was built into the system inherently. Not overcome, not force others to agree, not push or shove. Heal. Heal. And if any part of you is wondering how to do this, you're using the wrong part of you. What did we do for 2,000 years? We held. We didn't do. We didn't do lifetimes. We held. We didn't push. We didn't shove. We didn't say, give us a body. We got to get in there and fix some stuff. We held. Presence. Abiding deeply in presence and offering. That changed energetic, that one note, unending, unwavering, steadiness, steadiness. Your world doesn't have steadiness. It has no steadiness. It's all masculine energy bouncing off of masculine energy, bouncing off of masculine energy, bouncing off of masculine energy. The steadiness that your world needs is missing. Oh boy. The cat is here. We'll see if we can touch the cat. Ooh, that's really overstimulating. Hello. Hello. Whew, yeah, it's too much to touch the cat. Your steadiness. Okay, that's all. Okay, the cat has pushed it over the limit. You didn't do anything wrong. We just were already on the edge of the more that we could do. So you came and helped us push over the edge. We invite you to submit questions. There's no guarantee we will answer a single one of them. But we invite you to submit questions. And in the invitation, we advise that if you are not using feminine energy, if you are not using deep presence, if you are not surrendering and bouncing off of personality, your question is not the question you need to submit. So submit those questions to Veronica and we will engage with your question.